We are live. I'm just going to pull up my. Here we go. Voila. Voila. Awesome, awesome. Okay. Hi, Deborah. How are you? Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. How are you? Hello, Rachel. Thank you for joining. Welcome, welcome. I'm really, really excited about doing this masterclass tonight. I plan to go for about half an hour, 40 minutes, unless there's loads of questions that come at the end. And please light the chat up. A lot of you, when you start watching this, you recognise each other because it's just lovely, this group. We all start to really get to know each other. But please feel free to ask plenty of questions. Okay, I'm here to give you as much understanding as I possibly can that I know. And if it's not what I know, then I'll point you in the right direction. So yes, okay, perfect. So we're going to be talking about psychic surgery. Oh, someone's just, would you be interested in joining us? A bit busy at the moment. Somebody's messaging me. Actually, I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to put my computer on do not disturb. Let me do that first. Do not disturb, so hopefully I don't get loads of pinging. Hey, Donna Marie. Yes, I'm really excited about talking about the dragons in regards to psychic surgery, etheric surgery. So I want to share how they actually turned up for me in psychic surgery. So when I first met the dragons, okay, and it was Marina, the Soul Alchemist, I don't know if she'll probably end up watching this, actually introduced me to dragons. So when I first started out in my healing business, I was quite vanilla. I was quite traditional as a healer, belief work and manifestation, and you know, I wasn't necessarily connected very much into lots of different beings. Oh my God, that's evolved ever since. But what happened for me was I was working a lot with the energy and the soul of my business, because I have worked over the years with lots of coaches and healers, and people that weren't necessarily super psychic, like Starseeds, but they would come to me because I could really connect with the soul of their business. And that's what I used to do. I used to do a lot of dowsing and divination and reading the Akashic records of businesses, okay, as well as my clients, and then aligning them, okay, so that they could create an aligned, soul-led business. And what happened for me was I always felt like with the soul of your business, you can always feel like you have guides with you. And this is one day I was working on the soul of my business, and I always felt this energy around, but it was very hidden. It was very, like, I want to say, couldn't see this guide, but I just felt this, like, this wisdom and this energy that always came through. And one day, because my business was starting to shift and evolve, and I was training as a medical intuitive at that time, and it was like, okay, I need to upgrade my business guides. And I could feel this energy, and I said, come forward and introduce yourself, right? And I'd always had angels, and I'd had ascended masters, and you know, first of all, it was more ascended masters, and then as I got more into, like, the psychic development and, you know, understanding, like, the different realms, you know, then it was the angels, and I could feel this energy, and I said, come forward. And this guide said to me, no, I'm not coming forward. And I said, no, come forward, please show yourself. I really would really like to introduce myself to you. And this being said to me, no. And I said, why? And he said, I say it as a he said, because you'll laugh at me. And I said, I won't laugh at you, I really won't, right? And he stepped forward, and it was a dragon. And I was like, okay, I can see why you thought I might laugh at you, right? And dragons tend to show up when you are very pure of heart, and I needed to be pure of heart for this dragon to make itself known to me. And at that time, I was really working a lot also with Marina, and Marina and I were just giggling so much because Marina's very connected to the dragons as well. So I did giggle at that one. But then what happened again for me was when the dragons would show up with particular clients. So I knew that my clients were very connected to dragon energy, and that's how I started working with them a fair bit. And then they started showing up when I trained as a psychic surgeon. And it was showing up for me before the psychic surgery because it was getting me used to working and doing healing with beautiful dragon energy. And I'm going to talk about the different 7 councils of the dragons, okay, the different hierarchy is the way to explain it. And you can have actually hierarchy of angels as well, and I've done angel training also. But when I started training in psychic surgery, and I was in, so if you don't know what psychic surgery is, it's not cutting anybody up, just so you know. Some of you are on this and watching it on the replay and have done like a masterclass, and some of you are already psychic surgeons like Donna Marie and Rochelle watching. We're not cutting anybody up. What we're doing is that we are putting our clients into healing temples and chambers up on the astral temple, and we are inviting in ancient beings, whether that is angels, ascended masters, whether it's your soul family. You're like, I'm Palladian, so you know the Palladians turn up for me, but whatever your client is connected to and what the best healing that the client needs turns up. And what I was finding was dragons kept turning up every now and again. And it wasn't until I started diving into the different hierarchies of the dragons I understood why they were turning up. And sometimes different angels turn up for me as well, but it really depends on what is right for the client, because with psychic surgery you have your own team. So you have your own team to work on yourself or to support you or teach you, okay, the process. And your clients have their own psychic surgery team, and they can change depending on what you're working through for that client. So these dragons were showing up in the temples, and I really wanted to understand why they were showing up. So that's what I'm going to talk about a little bit today, because I felt that a lot of you know that I'm teaching psychic surgery. The doors close on the 19th of February. Okay, so enrollment's open now, and a few of you have stepped into this. So I've done 1 round. We're on to our 2nd round now. But I wanted to explain that doing psychic surgery is working or channeling the healing through different light beings. So whether you're more connected to, you know, I've had fairies turn up, I've had elementals turn up, I've literally just had colour, I've had sacred geometry, angels, as I've said, ascended masters, I've had like Jesus, Mother Mary. It really depends, and it's because on psychic surgery we're working through different realms. So sometimes, you know, it can be through pure earth healing, Mother Earth and Gaia, elementals, crystals. Sometimes it can be essential oils, you know, through that realm, all the way up through to working with the fifth plane, so that's the angels, and you know, going through into the records and the record keepers, and then different galactic beings can come through. So that's the beauty of psychic surgery. It isn't a snob when it comes to healing. What turns up is what is right for the client. And what we do is we put them into these healing chambers. So I see them sometimes more as temples, and sometimes I see them as crystal healing beds. And that is one thing that's really popular at the moment, is they talk a lot about these med beds, so the medical beds. What they're talking about is that they're laying them on the crystal beds, and it is the crystal and these light beings, exactly what psychic surgery is like. And they're doing extractions, okay, mainly extractions. And the reason that we put the clients on these healing temples and beds, and we call it like psychic surgery, is because we're putting them in an energetic, sterile place so that there's no interference. And these light beings have done this type of healing for millions and trillions of years. So we're using them to do the healing, but we are the ones that are initiating and witnessing and being the channel back to the client, so the client knows, and that the client can then have give their permission to what's being done. And what they're doing is that they're working through the whole multidimensional body. They're working through the chakras, so that you're experiencing a very, very deep healing in a very short period of time. But because you're putting the client into a hypnotic meditation state, there's no ego interference that is blocking the healing being done. So that is really what the process of psychic surgery is. And yes, you can use psychic surgery. I've used psychic surgery on homes and land. I've used psychic surgery on businesses, and I've used psychic surgery on animals, etc. So it's not just tied to like something medical. Okay. Hello, hello. You've been aware of the dragons and fairies recently. Yes, Annie, I mean, I know you're joining this next cohort, and they'll be showing up for you, making themselves known, knocking on your door, because you've already enrolled. So they know when you enroll in a training, then sometimes this energetically this starts to happen. So they're sort of knocking on your door saying, hey, hey. Or they're just testing you to say, is she okay with this? She's not frightened. The other day I was working with a client. No, and no joke, I was like, the lights here were just like, it felt like there was a bird kept flying over the roof, but obviously I've got a roof. And it was just like this shadow, and even the client was like, that's funny. And as I tuned in, I was like, oh, it's my black dragon, it's flying around. And it kept, and you could literally see it like moving itself across the screen. So I was giggling at that. So dragons are definitely around at the moment, and that's because we're just doing this final shedding, ready for the fire horse to come in. So the dragons come in because they work on very deep, dense karmic energy, very, very heavy energy. So when you tend to see a dragon show up for a to assist you for healing, I tend to know, okay, it's come to do, it's like my bouncer turning up, you know, it's like my yeah, they just move really, really heavy energy. And then from working and training as a psychic surgeon, what I found was that they actually turn up a lot when I'm doing home healing and land blessing. They rock up as well, and I teach that in my home healer and land blessing certified modality as well. So, you know, really, really powerful light beings to work with, but they tend to work with very heavy, dense energy. They like getting down and dirty. They like doing all that type of work, whereas working with the angels is much more of a higher vibration. The dragons the dragons were from the Lords of Karma, offered to ascend higher, but they actually turned it down. And the reason being was because they wanted to come back at this time to assist us to release all this heavy, dense karma so that we could all ascend. So they're very loyal, incredibly loyal. Okay, so I just want to, I've got some notes here so I can try and keep on track. I've read that, I've said that. So using the dragons for something like circuit surgery, they really help to clear the complex. Okay, so they're very great at dissolving past life trauma. They're great at clearing soul contracts. I think we've got a storm coming. I can hear the thunder coming in. Soul contracts. They're great at psychic implants, okay, and chronic energetic fatigue. Okay, they're very good at helping you to construct your own astral hospitals and temples, okay, because the dragons were assisting on creating the earth, hence the dragon lines, the energy lines that run through the planet. So they're great at helping you construct your own healing temples, okay, and your own crystal temples for the psychic surgery, and they create high frequency containers so that you can place your clients inside for deep recalibration. And what I did was when I moved into this home, I actually placed my black dragon around the whole house, so it always kept me protected and safe, and it would always like clear energy all the time, so it was like a filter for me. They show up because they help you to collaborate with your 5D teams as well. They help you to work alongside the different 7 dragon collectives, dragon councils, to help you amplify every session with, I want to say with accuracy is probably the way. So what I love about psychic surgery is it's actually not a new tool. The way to come into psychic surgery and use this type of modality is a remembering, okay, because it will start to unlock you and you will remember how to do this type of work, and that's really what happened for me. And then from that you'll make quantum leaps and jumps. So in the last round, you know, we unlocked one of the students. She started channeling her dragon language. Someone else was very connected to working with Egypt and Atlantis and was moving more down that way. That's the beautiful thing, is that whenever you learn a modality, I set up containers, or my training temples, because it's School of Mastery, is this remembering of, you might learn this modality, but it's going to unlock and you are going to remember. So we're not all just like turning up like a cookie cutter and we're all going to be the same cookie cutter psychic surgeon. You are going to use psychic surgery for your own way, your own method, and you can then blend the other modalities that you've ever studied. So for me, actually, what was interesting, whenever I've learned a modality, it's always unlocked something else. So when I studied theta healing, it unlocked Akashic records. When I studied medical intuitive technique, it started healing and activating witchcraft for me. And understanding that. And the reason that I started to understand more around witchcraft, not that I don't practice that, but what it actually helped me with was the fact that when I do spiritual warfare, I needed to be able to understand how to discreate certain things that go on behind the scenes. So, you know, whenever you learn a new technique modality, it's like a remembering, but then it unlocks other codes and keys. And this is linked to the dragons, and it was really interesting. I was doing my own meditation yesterday, and all of a sudden I'm running quantum codes at the moment, the quantum codes program, and really being very much drawn to Egypt and Atlantis. That sort of energy is really showing up for me at the moment, because there's some remembering there that I need to unlock and gain. And I was in Egypt under like the Great Sphinx, the pyramids, and all of a sudden this symbol showed up for me, right? Because that is also part of, you know, being in the temples of the psychic surgeons, is that you're on the plane where the sacred soul reports, the sacred geometry shapes, right, and symbols like show up. So this symbol showed up for me. So then I was like, okay, this is really interesting. I'm going to be like doing some Googling on that. And it felt Egyptian, but it also felt Atlantean as well. So I was like gifted this like code, and I was like, okay, what am I doing that? And what I was told today was to put the code, draw the code, and then I've been putting like my tea and my water on the code, so it's coding the water and I'm drinking it, right, because I'm making a quantum leap and a quantum shift. And I'm not joking, this is stuff this wisdom has unlocked in me because I've been hanging out in those temples and working with these dragons. So whatever modality you're in, what I love about psychic surgery is that it's really bringing everything together, and you're really being able to step into that next level identity, because the healings that you receive while you're training, and this is one thing that I really code in, that you receive as much healing and shifts and changes and transformations with the team, with your own team, laying on your crystal beds, so that you can experience those quantum leap shifts and changes, so that you can provide your clients with it. So it's really important that we code that frequency in for you. Okay, so let's talk about the different dragon hierarchies and how that can relate to psychic surgery. Are you all excited? Hi Narelle, how are you? There's 9 of you. Okay, so the first one, the first hierarchy is the timekeepers. So some of you that are in quantum codes, hello, I can see you all, right? These show up. If you've not seen it, you'll start to see it now, because we've pulled a lid off. Okay, so we've got the timekeepers, the dragon timekeepers. Okay, so these dragons don't just see the present, they see the original blueprint before any trauma occurred. Okay, so with working in, side note, working in quantum codes, and we are working on parallel shifting, etc., timeline shifting, I'm calling in the timekeepers, just so you know. What they work with is they help to set everything back to the original blueprint, okay, before distortion took over. What they might look like, okay, so if you are clairvoyant, you might see them as shimmering, okay, translucent scales, okay, and eyes that look like opals or moonstones. Their surgical role is they will help you identify and extract the moment in a past life or a timeline where the energetic rupture occurred. Okay, so they're like your they're like a time machine, that's the word. So they can literally shift your client, the patient, their energetic field back to its purest timeline, making it easier to see where trauma, karma, dark energy doesn't belong. Okay, and that, say for instance a client was coming to you and she wanted to work on, say for instance she might have a polyp, all right, in her womb. Okay, this dragon might show up, okay, or you could call on the dragon. They'll only turn up if they're meant to turn up, right? But you can call on and you can see where that polyp first took place, okay, and you can start doing the healing on it. So it's really, really powerful. The next one we have are the dragons of the warrior dragons, warrior heart dragons. They are the extraction team. Okay, so the timekeepers are diagnostic, the warrior heart dragons are the extraction team. These are your, like, the big guns. Okay, they're your bouncers, they're your security. They're the ones who handle the dense, stubborn, okay, or entities, nasty pasty entities that refuse to leave. Okay, so I tend to call these in, or they show up. If they show up, I tend to go, okay, I might need to do a bit of spiritual warfare here, and I need to get these guys shifting, moving and grooving, because that's one thing that when I studied spiritual warfare, we're working with a lot of curses, hexes, jinx, spells, incantations, sorcery, black magic, blood magic, all of the above, right? It doesn't actually faze me, but what I noticed through my experience from clearing this type of work, what actually happened for me was I was clearing a curse and it was booby trapped, and I ended up cutting my foot on a piece of glass, and it was a bit of a warning for me. And then what I started to realize was I need to make sure I'm not going anywhere near this stuff. So what I do is I actually call my psychic surgery team in, which are these guys. So they're either angels or they're the warrior hearts. So it's Archangel Michael's angels, and it is the powers or the dominions will show up. Sometimes it's these. Okay, so I know that, okay, let you go in. They're like the SWAT team. That's probably the easiest way to do it. And you let your SWAT team go in and clear this stuff. So we don't become energetically drained. We don't have any hashtag glass cut and Claire's foot. We don't have, you know, anything where we're energetically being drained or we're sick or anything like that, because that shit goes down, just so you know. Okay, not to scare you, just to make you like a master of wisdom around this stuff. So they are your SWAT team. Okay, they might look, okay, if you're clairvoyant, they might look like deep red, blacks, metallic, very sort of obsidian eyes. You might even see them with, I've seen them with like wearing like tourmaline crystals on them, like backpacks. It's that type of thing, because they've got protection on them as well. They have very sharp features and they're very savage. Okay, and I want to say, like, sometimes I can like hear them and I can feel them breathing on me, and the way that I hear them and feel them breathing, if anyone's watched Jurassic Park, it's like that. But they come in because they're like, are you scared? They're very good at helping you to have courage and bravery. Okay, some of these might not even turn up for you because that's not the sort of work that you're meant to do. I have happened to do that type of work. Okay, the surgical role is entity attachment removal. Okay, so they guard the room to ensure no other entities enter. Okay, and they make sure that those entities leave. They take them. Okay, so nothing is floating around. They're very good at looking after portals. Okay, so the bouncers. The next ones we have are the mother of dragons. Okay, so they're really good at recovery and rebirth. So sometimes, like anything, surgery can actually be quite traumatic for the soul. So they're very good at bringing in that beautiful mother energy. Sometimes I call in like Mother Earth energy, but I know it's actually a mother dragon, because it would be a Mother Earth dragon type of energy that comes in. Okay, and sometimes they need to be nested, okay, to help them recover. So they're massive, they're very warm, they're soft, they're golden, they can be quite iridescent, they might have white scales. So yesterday I was doing a healing on one of my clients, and it was interesting because we were actually doing spiritual warfare, but we ended up going to the temples in Egypt, and then we went into Atlantis. And while we were in Atlantis, this beautiful, it first of all started off as like a white Pegasus coming in with wings, and then it shapeshifted into this beautiful pearly iridescent white dragon, and was really helping her and nurturing her around food addictions. And you know, sometimes it can be like a little bit left of center and a little bit left of field, and this is what I teach, right, in a lot of my in temple membership, and also in my school, is, you know, trusting the information and the messages that come through, okay, and really helping you to anchor that and ground that in. So this beautiful mother energy dragon showed up. She has a real, these dragons actually have a real presence that feel very protective, very loving and very nurturing. And if you are a soul that's very connected to the dragons, or you've had incarnations of dragons, or you've lived through dragon realms, right, you are going to feel like this dragon feels like your mother, okay? So their surgical role is actually cellular DNA regeneration. That's what they're good for, okay? So they can also see they actually look after dragon eggs and hatching them, okay, because they're the mother dragons. So they're very good at looking after you and helping you to rebirth and helping you to grow and evolve in transformation, okay? And they give that loving, nurturing energy for that. They're very good at soul retrievals as well, okay? So they help go and find the fragments that have ever been lost, and they come back to you. They're very good. They tend to show up when the warrior ones have finished their job, because this is what happens. Like, you might have a team that rotates, okay? A bit like in surgery, okay? And then the next one, these ones are lovely. So these are the oracles. Are you learning? Are you all enjoying this? Are you learning something? Let me know in the chat. And just press hashtag replay if you're watching this on the replay. The next one we have are the oracles. And these are the ones that really helped. This was the one that turned up for me first in the soul of my business, was this oracle. So these dragons connect to the higher councils, okay, which are the broader multiverse. So the oracles hang out with like the Palladians, the Orions, the such and such, okay, so they go off and they hang out with them, and sometimes they will bring back wisdom from those different like galaxies and realms. So they work with the high councils and the broader multiverse, okay? And like anything, they're an oracle. They're a bit like, if you had it in Star Wars, it would be like Yoda. It's got that type of energy to it. So if you're wanting wisdom and guidance, so sometimes I've worked with the oracles in ways to understand healing techniques, healing mastery and healing techniques. I've gone to the oracles for that, okay? They do hang out in the Akashic records as well. So their appearance, they can look very deep blue and purple, and they're often surrounded by stars, okay? And their eyes seem, if you ever look into their eyes seem like galaxies and the stars. So it's absolutely beautiful. So if you're into like astrology, you'd be connected to the oracles as well. You can actually call upon the oracles to actually help you with channeling energy overviews and like reports. When I write my soul lineage reports, I open up and start working with the oracles, and you can use them for understanding planetary shifts. So their surgical role is remote viewing and quantum structure. They help you to stay connected to the quantum field as well, so they can show up as well in quantum codes. They can help with healing that is anchored not just in the body but across all the different parallel versions of yourself. So when you say things like, I want it healed across time and space, these are the ones that initiate it. The key power is that they act as an intercom, relaying messages from the patient's higher self or the archangels during the procedure. So they do watch over you as well. The next one we have is the elders. So they're the advisory board. They can work quite closely with the oracles as well. So the elders are the historians who know why a certain sickness or a curse is present. okay? Their appearance is often very large, covered in moss or ancient crystalline growths. They're a lot slower, and they're deeply, they have deeply resonant voices as well, very deep, that type of thing. I don't know why I'm doing that, but just like anchors it in for you. Their role, their surgical role, they're great at ancestral and karmic clearing, okay? They hold the records of the ancient ones, and they can advise us and support us whether a blockage is a karmic contract that needs legal cancellation before it can be surgically removed. So they're full of wisdom, okay, and they will help you and the client to start to understand the lesson behind what's going on, okay, as well. And don't forget, like when you're doing this type of work, you are invoking them to stay with the client and you for as long as the healing needs to keep facilitating. So they might be like, come off the bed and you've ended the session, but these dragons will stay with, any of the light beings will stay with the client until the full process of the healing has taken place. And then number 6, okay, we've got 6 and 7 to go. We've got the legendaries, okay? These are the key keepers. So this is what showed up for me yesterday when I got that key, okay, that symbol. These dragons are the holders of the original dragon DNA, but they also help with bringing down codes, okay? So quantum codes we use energetically behind the scenes. I'm using these, okay? So they are just beautiful, pure light. They might not even have a solid body. So they're very, very high vibrational, because sometimes the more high vibrational you are, the less there's going to be a body. So there might just be, like, you might not even see, like, sense a dragon. You just sense it, but you can see it as like a color, or you might even see it as a symbol, okay? And it could be these. You might even see them appear as a dragon-shaped constellation, or literally sacred geometry, which I just said, okay? What they're really good at is doing a DNA activation, repair and new coding to come in. So once the heavy dense energy, whatever you're removing, the tumor you're removing, okay, the legendaries can come in and use their golden light codes and dragon DNA to prevent the old energy from reattaching, okay? So they seal it up, and they seal it up with light codes. So I know some of you are psychic surgeons, so you know when we say at the end of the invocations, and this is what we teach in psychic surgery, so we're doing invocations, you've got the scripts, you've got the protocols, so you know at the end, my team, my psychic surgery team, in 3D human form, right, my human team, you know when we are saying, okay, so we're going to upload your whole body, your whole multidimensional body, through the angelic, celestial, earth realms, you know, and we go through all the different realms, and we say, right, we're bringing in codes. It's these are the ones that are showing up to bring those codes in. So they lock in at a higher frequency, because, you know, let's talk about, you know, I do talk about spiritual laws. So there is such a thing called the law of vacuum. So once you remove something, you need to put a higher vibration back in there. So that's what we're using. We're using a higher vibration, because like attracts like. So we never leave an empty void in healing. We always replace it with an upgrade. Okay, so these ones help to bring in the codes and the keys for the upgrade as well. Next one, last but not least, we have the keepers of knowledge. So when you're wanting to, say for instance, channel your own modality, or remember your alchemy modality, you're working with the keepers of knowledge. These are the ones really started to show up for me when I was creating my home healer lamb blesser, and then starting to work with like the earth grids, and the ley lines and the energy portals, etc. the keepers of the knowledge. That's what I tune into. So they help me through with the Akashic records, and I start to bring those codes and that wisdom back through. So the keepers of the knowledge, they're like the professors, okay? They're the ones that can actually mentor and train you. So yes, you can absolutely call in. If you didn't know this, you can actually call in light beings. Years ago, I used to call it putting people in your spiritual boardroom, right? And I actually did a program around that. And I've got, I think it's working with the angels and masters. It might even be on my YouTube channel. It's connecting in with your spiritual boardroom. So you can actually call in energetic mentors. How it showed up for me originally was when I started working or remembering the Akashic records. It was, and I said at the beginning, you know, I was working with the Ascended Masters, because energetically that's what my belief system could cope with, just working with Ascended Masters. Then the angels came in, and then all these other light beings have shown up ever since, right? Because what they don't want to do is they don't want to freak you out, because they want to co-create with you, okay? So for me, when I first started working with the Akashic records, it was Ascended Master, I say Hilarion, but some people pronounce his name slightly different. So it was Hilarion, and then it was Archangel Metatron. So Hilarion is the scribe of the Akashic records. Metatron is the archangel of the records, okay? And these, the keeper of the knowledge, the professors, these are the ones that hang out also in the records as well. So they are mentors. You can call upon them. You can actually ask them to find you a mentor in the human planes as well, because it's a law: as above, so below, so within, so without. It's one of the Hermetic principles, 7 Hermetic principles. And I actually, when I was working through my support, just a bit of a side note, because you'll find this interesting. Hey, Julie, was I had a support wound, really bad support wound back in the day, right? And I found it easier to ask for angelic and spiritual support than I did on the human. So I actually changed it around. So because I was very comfortable asking my peeps up there for help and support, it then, as above, so below, so within, so without. And when I started to really work on supporting myself, okay, then it started to shift, and then the support around me started to shift. But that was the easiest way I found that I could work through my support wound. So the keepers of the knowledge, okay, they can look very varied, in all fairness. You might see them with scrolls or books. They're very focused and they're extremely academic. They know their stuff, okay? Their surgical role for psychic surgery is they will help you. They'll help monitor you and guide you. So sometimes they can be standing behind you. I remember years ago, I was deep in a session with a client, and this client was experiencing, we're doing an entity extraction off of her, and it was very profound, and I'd never done anything like it, but I literally had this voice behind me saying, keep calm, I'm going to talk you through, and I'm going to show you what we're going to do. Just hold the space, right? And I was like, okay, no problem, right? So my focus was on like the energy of the client, watching her at every step and talking her through, and they were talking me through. And this is how psychic surgery works, okay? What I love about psychic surgery and having this is it's like someone's got your back in a session, and that's probably one of the things that I see a lot of healers fall flat and really is very scared in doing work, because they're scared not of the work that they're doing at the moment is like what happens if I'm unprepared, right? So therefore that they're constantly training, or they're not ready yet and they're not ready yet. What you want to be doing is you want to be invoking these guides. And this has happened to me from day dot, when I started Theta Healing and I found myself in the Akashic Records, and this black book showed up. My guides stepped forward and gave me this black book, and I was like, okay, what's this black book? What am I doing? They said, you're clearing curses. And I said, how do I do that? Don't you worry, we will teach you. And it was these guys. Didn't see them as dragons, okay, but it had this energy of, I'm going to take you through your apprenticeship, right? And of course my background is teaching like Apprentice, but from a hairdressing point of view. Now I take my students through apprenticeships, okay, because I've gone through apprenticeships, and I'm still going through an apprenticeship. I don't think it ever changes, but I have this real deep faith and trust in my guides that we co-create together. So that's the beauty of it, and that's what we bring through in psychic surgery training for you. So they help to monitor you, okay, and they help to get our ego or our fear out of the way, okay. They are complete keepers of the knowledge, and they know exactly what to do to help you, okay, and assist you, because they want you, they want to work through you, they want you to be your very best. Okay, so those are the 7 hierarchies of what we have. I'm just going to read some Q&As. Got 10 of you here. Okay, let's have a little look. Lara's loving this. I thought you would. I was like, I've got to bring this through. I've got to bring this through. I'll probably do another one when I do the next round. I think I'll do it on angels. I actually tend to use the angels a lot for psychic surgery, but I also love using the angels for spiritual warfare as well. Oh, Rochelle's here. Hi, Rochelle. And Narelle's here. Hello, hello. Okay. Hello, Nicole. I hope I've said your name right. I'm dyslexic, so please forgive me if I get names wrong. Rochelle, I have a blue dragon waiting for me to fully connect with him. Okay, beautiful. And my dog has a small yellow dragonette. Oh, I love that, dragonette, with him, who has a very sassy attitude when I've connected with her. Yeah. Narelle, funny, I bought a pink dragon ornament on Friday, so I'm sure they came in knowing I was going to do deep work on the week. Retreat, and you had a huge shift. Yes. Angels, yes. Okay. Beautiful. So if anybody's got any questions on any of that, if anybody's got any questions on psychic surgery, so that's a beautiful thing, right? Whenever you step into a training, you're saying yes, you're saying yes for that next level of ascension. And that's the magic, right? Because the beautiful gift is when you say yes and we start shifting, then, you know, all of this stuff starts to unlock. And that's the beauty of saying yes. You know, yeah, we had like light language, like coming through. Yeah, it was just fascinating. So I'm really excited this round to see what comes through. So how it works with psychic surgery, we have 8 weeks of pure training. Okay, so there's live calls. You can watch the replay, and what you do is we unlock each week different processes when it comes to psychic surgery. You will learn all the processes, you'll learn all the scripts, etc. But you will have your favorite scripts and your favorite protocols. Okay. I know some of you are well, Annie is an animal healer, so she's obviously going to love working with the animals and putting the animals on their healing beds. And actually Narelle had a really great result with animal healing in the last round. She was amazing at that. So you'll have, every week you'll learn, we'll unlock a couple of new protocols. You will have the healings recorded by me, so you will experience the healings from me. And every week we come to class, we will answer Q&A, we will sometimes do a demonstration. Okay, I will show you how I work with it, and where we start and where we end up. And we will also have practice. Okay, so you will go into breakout rooms and you will do swaps. Okay, because it's all about practice makes perfect, because I want you to leave this training selling your sessions. Okay, you keep your training for 6 weeks, and then we move you into alumni as well. So you have all your scripts, your scrolls, because this is one of the things that I do find that has happened is people can get nervous when they're channeling. Okay, so the more that we practice this and we use the scripts as our guidelines, the easier it is to channel through. Okay, some people are just like, you know, find it dead easy, and that's absolutely fine. But some people can struggle with that. Okay, and the scripts, and I help you to channel that through, and obviously unlock you as well. So it's 6 weeks. We start on, I open the portal, so you get the pre-work on the 19th. So the first live calls, I think it's the 26th. Okay, so you unlock on the 19th, so you can start listening to the healings and immersing yourself into the first part. And then we have 6 weeks together. Then I give you a week at the end to catch up on everything. So it's roughly about 8 weeks. Okay, then you have a week at the end, and then we submit everything, and then we give you your certification. So you are certified as a psychic surgeon. That's how it rolls. Okay, so it's not an evergreen program. We take you through start to end. Okay, so that we get you certified in the end, and then I assist you with the alumni portal at the end, and there's some information in there to actually help you market and message what you need to be doing for these sessions. Okay, so that's how it rolls. There is a beautiful offer. Okay, so there's 5 places for the the psychic surgery. That's what I'm talking about. Hang on, where's my that's my page. Just bear with me, and I'm going to drop, I think the link's already in there. I think Shane set it up for me. Okay, so you can choose your path. You can have option 1, which is the practitioner, which is the core investment training, which is, there's only 5 spaces of that. Okay, because I have a lot of people ask me if I do scholarships and stuff like that. It's fairer that I cap it, but I offer it to people that are ready to jump in. So the core investment training, okay, the practitioner pathway is all the ones, so that's 1,111 AU dollars. Okay, now I have a lot of people that message me and say, do you do payment plans? No, I don't do payment plans, but what is on my checkout page with Thrive Cart is like Afterpay, Kalara, all of that, so you can split the payments. So it's done that way. All right, so that is one option. There's only 5 places of that. The other one is the initiate pathway, which is, because the full investment for psychic surgery is 1,555. Okay, so you are saving on the practitioner pathway. The other one is the initiate. So the VIP has gone now. That was sold out. So the other one is the initiate, and that is the full training, as I said, plus you get 3 months in my temple membership. Okay, so the temple membership is where I am coaching and mentoring you to grow your spiritual business. That's in there as well. So you get the full investment plus 3 months complimentary inside the temple membership. Okay, so you're in my inner circle, and I'm assisting you in that. So there's 5 spots of that as well. So when you go to checkout, you get a choice of which way you want to play, and that is in there. So I'd love you to join me. We've had an absolute ball. You'll also connect in with the past psychic surgeons as well. Okay, so you go into a Facebook community, private Facebook community, to co-create with your other psychic surgeons as well. So we have a beautiful time. We have a really very much a lovely close-knit community to take you through into mastering this this path. And Donna Marie's actually signed up again for a second round. She just loved it so much. Okay, Lara, I'm very keen, but can't do the lifetimes. So the next round will be when I'm in the UK. So you don't have to join the live calls. You can watch the replays. You just need to organize your swaps. So that is the one thing, okay? That's the important thing. But you're going to be doing swaps outside the live calls anyway. I was blown away with how many people were just loving doing all the swaps. You know, it was lighting up in the Facebook group. It's like, anyone free for a swap today? Anyone free for a swap today? Because they were just loving it. So you don't have to join. You don't have to join the live calls because you've got the community side. A bit like what we've got in Quantum Codes, Lara. We have that same thing with the community set up for psychic surgery. Okay. So you see me, I come in and answer Q&A, I do lives, etc. So very much how we've set up Quantum Codes is very much how I set up all my training. Okay, so we have that inner circle energy. So you don't have to join. You can watch them on replay. The last round, the last round unlocked my new business name. Yes, which I just signed up to a designer. So yep, I'll be calling in the dragons to help with that, to ensure it's amazing and to help clear the pathway. Perfect. Rochelle, I've been combining emotion code with psychic surgery. Yep, perfect. Great. I'm very proud that you've done that. A lot on animals. Fabulous. Very effective. Psychic surgery really shifts things. It does. It shifts, you know, and that's the beauty of making sure that you are enjoying the shifts, because you will be able, as much as you shift in you, you'll be able to shift that in your clients. Yes, it's the 26th of February, Claire. Yep, for call 1, correct. So, yes, and we're doing 7 a.m. in the morning to 9 a.m. We're doing early morning calls for that. Looking forward to it. Yes. Oh, yeah. Congratulations on the UK. Yeah. Yeah. Haven't sold the house yet. I said to Andrew, we've had plenty of offers, but I said to Andrew, I said, we just got to surrender. We just got to surrender. I said, we've got to stay here for a bit. There's a reason why we've got to stay here for a bit longer. So I was laughing. Yes, Annie, you are joining us. I'm really excited, and I'm really excited to bring your wisdom of animal healing to the table as well. So you know, yeah, we'll be asking you some questions if that's okay. Because that's the thing, right? We've all come from different backgrounds, and you know, we should shine a light on our natural gifts and talents. We should bring that into the container. Absolutely. I'm all for sisters empowering each other. Yes, it's been wonderful. It's been really good. It's 5 a.m. here. You're teaching Pilates at 6. Well, you know, Lara, let's see who comes into the training, right? And the reason I did that early in the morning was to catch the UK market, okay? And also, actually, what time is it in America? I've got the times here, actually. Let's have a little nosy. It might be that we might make a container decision on what's best for everybody. You know, we might make a decision that if we're all in sort of like Australia time zone, that we might say, oh, you know, let's shift it, let's shift the times. So I am open to that. Okay, but it's got to work as a cohort. It's got to work for everybody. Yes, 9 p.m. in the UK, 7 a.m. Brisbane is 9 p.m. in the UK, which then works in America at 4 p.m. and 1 p.m. That's why I did it in that way. But we'll see. We'll see. We'll see how it rocks and rolls. But I'll do it as, you know, because that's what I've put up. But if it's a unanimous decision that we can move it, then I'll move it. Absolutely. Will be awesome with you in the crew, Annie. Yes, some of you know each other. Yeah. Use each other's experience. Absolutely. Absolutely. Right, lovely. Okay, 6 o'clock. Let's sign off. So yeah, feel free to sign up. But yeah, when those places have gone, I think somebody's already signing up. Has someone already signed up? Yeah. Voila. So they won't hang around for long. Okay. And the next round, I think, when am I doing the next round? I think the next round is later in the year. I have got a calendar of events on my website. So let me just give you the dates. Where are we? Yeah, so we've got February through till April, and then the next round is September. So there is a bit of a time shift, because I'll be teaching home healer weekend, and we've also got Akashic records coming in, and I've got to somehow move and a retreat to fit in. So, and quantum codes is back again in July, and that's already opening up. So you can actually do a payment plan. 4 payments of $9. I think it's 4 payments. Might be 4 payments of $99 for quantum codes. So that's already opened up as well. So people are signing up for that for the next round of the codes. So yeah, have a look at the calendars. They're all in there. And I know someone's going to say, when's the Home Healer live weekend? The Home Healer next live weekend is Saturday the 21st and Sunday the 22nd of March. That's the weekend for workshop practice. Okay, but you need to have access to the program. So that's an Australian time, because the next one will be when I'm in the UK. That'll be the next one. Yeah, there's one in March, one in June, September, and the following January for Home Healer, Land Blessing as well. So if you're interested in dragons and you want to work with dragons through the ley lines and the energy lines, and clearing, helping clear Mother Earth, raise the consciousness, and doing home and land blessing, that's that program. That's that one. That's being like a green witch. It's like earth witch and peacekeeper. That's the archetype that we activate through the home healer and land blesser in that one. All right, my loves, thank you very much. It's been wonderful hanging out. Let me know what dropped for you after this. You probably want to have a little bit of a process, but yeah, come back and let me know. Let me know in the comments for a replay. So have a super evening or morning wherever you are in the world. It's been lovely hanging out with you, and I'll catch up with you very soon. Thank you for your time.